Now, winners of South Africa's Businesswoman of the Year were announced last night. Dawn Rowlands took the top honours in the corporate category. Chief Operations Officer of Hirsch's, Margaret Hirsch, won the award in the entrepreneurial category in the 33rd annual event hosted by the Businesswomen's Association of South Africa. Well, she joins me now. Margaret, thanks very much indeed for coming in.
Thank you for inviting me.
And first of all, congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much.
Why do you think an entrepreneurial category is so important in these awards?
Well, South Africa is wide open for entrepreneurs. This country is probably the best country in the world if you're an entrepreneur and if you want to start a business. It's wide open. There's so much abundance here, and we've got so many people that need work, and entrepreneurs must start out and they must get going. And the South African Businesswoman is a forum where you can start out and you can go and get advice and you can get people to mentor you, all that type of thing.
Mm-hmm. You speak about people needing work, you speak about women being empowered. Are we doing enough to enlighten poor women to get out there and start a business?
Well, I can't talk for everybody else, but for myself, I've started an initiative which I started in my Mlazi store, where I work with a lady called Marianne Wundler, and we take rural ladies out of the townships and we teach them to cook. And from there, they start cooking and they sell their wares on the corner of the road to people going to work in the mornings, and from there they can generate an income, so they can start a business with absolutely nothing. We give them the ingredients to start.
Mm-hmm. You speak about the need for getting women to up their desire to start a business, to up their will to decide to start a business. If that's there, do you think there's an environment out there in terms of policy that's enabling for a woman to actually go out there and start a business? Do we have challenges?
Look, there'll always be challenges, but in the challenges you grow, and that's when you really, your true self comes to light. You know, there are two important days in everybody's life, the day they're born and the day they find out why. A lot of people go through their whole lives not finding out why. Sometimes if you just say to yourself, if I haven't got a job, why did I employ myself? I didn't have a job. Nobody would employ me. So I had to employ myself, and that's what I did. And that took me from strength to strength. If I can do it with just an ordinary matric, so can you. My husband never even passed that at 7. And I have a lady who works for me who only ever passed that at 3. And she is still working today. She's doing well. She's bought her own house, and she has empowered herself. So I think that the South Africans must stop looking to the government to help them, stop sitting with their hands out. They must get off their jacks and go out and get a job. And if nobody will employ them, they must employ themselves. And they have to look at themselves in the mirror and say, would I employ myself?
We look at the recent Lonmin tragedy, and it teaches us many things. But one of the things that it showed us that women have to be capable when you have a sudden departure of men, breadwinners, in a house being removed. And we see how important it is for a woman to be empowered in that domestic context, don't we?
Well, that was my learning curve, and that's where my mother taught me. She was widowed at 32, and she had no clue of what to do in the normal world. And I always vowed that would never happen to me. I would be completely self-sufficient, and I always have been. I've been very lucky to be happily married for nearly 41 years. But even with that, I'm completely self-sufficient. I know exactly what's going on. I do everything that needs to be done, and I think that all women should take on that role. The old-fashioned role of my husband will do it and I'll have to ask my husband, those days are long gone. Today, women have to do it for themselves.
If you look at the ability of a woman to create employment, to add to the challenges or defeat the challenges of inequality and poverty, it's about women empowering themselves and, again, in turn, empowering other women. How many women, for example, do you employ in your business?
Just over 1,000. Mm-hmm. And each one of them, I teach each one of them each day that they've got to be strong in themselves and that they've got to have their goals, they've got to work towards their goals, and they've got to improve themselves every single day. You know, I always tell women, if you come to work with makeup on, people will think you're more intelligent than if you don't. If you have 2 shop assistants standing there, one's looking sloppy and one's looking really nice, the person will always go to the one who looks nice. So women have to make sure that they look nice. They have to keep their home going. They have to keep their husbands happy. They have to have a good job, and they have to look after themselves. And they can't look to anybody else to do it for them.
Well, Margaret Hirsch, once again, congratulations. Thanks for chatting to us.
Thank you very much.
Moving abroad now, new economic data